Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making fish pies, and this video is especially for Khadija because she keeps asking me about it over and over again. So in this bowl we have some flour, a little bit of baking powder, and we're going to put our butter in there. I'm going to have the ingredients, the specific ingredients in the description box below, inshallah. So I'm pretty much doing what I do for like any shortbread crust that I make, but for this it's more like a pie dough, sort of. So I'm using my pastry cutter, and I'm just going to be cutting the butter, and make sure your butter is cold. I'm going to cut the butter into the flour until it's really all incorporated. And once the pieces are as small as this pastry cutter can get them, I'm going to stop using the pastry cutter and I'm just going to use my hands, and I'm going to start smashing it in. This dough could be used for meat pies or fish pies. I use it for both of them because it works well for both of them for me, and it does a really good job. So as you can see, I've mixed all of the butter in. There's just little tiny bits of chunks of butter left, but I'll need those in later. So you want to add some really ice cold water to this, because you don't want the butter to start melting at all. You want to make sure that your water is really cold. That water I actually had sitting in the freezer and actually has bits of ice inside of it. But yeah, Khadija, I really hope you watch this video and that you use it, because you asked me for it like a million times now. But anyways, yeah, this dough is like buttery and flaky and crispy, and it just tastes really good. You know how sometimes fish pie doughs, once the meat filling is gone, you don't really want to eat the rest of the dough. This dough tastes good on its own. Like, I'm not saying you're going to eat a whole piece of dough, but if there's little bits of dough left, you don't have no problem eating it because it tastes good. So you're just going to keep adding water until all of the flour and butter comes together, and then we're just going to be kneading this in until the dough starts to feel like nice and soft and smooth and like supple feeling. You're not trying to knead it like you would knead for like a bread dough, because you're trying to have something that's like flaky and crispy. You don't want something that's going to have long gluten strands like for normal bread. You want to knead it just enough so that it's like nice and smooth and easier to work with when you're going to knead it. So once I finish kneading this, I'm just going to wrap it in some plastic wrap, and I'm going to let it sit for like 15-20 minutes before I use it. But you can use it like 15 to 20 minutes right after, but I'm going to use it after I've made my filling, and that however long that it takes me to make my filling, that's how long it'll be sitting there. The longer the better. Yeah, so that's a pretty good dough right there. And this meat pie, I'm making like miniature fish pies, not like big size ones, just little tiny ones, because they're supposed to be for a party where it's just like little finger foods. So I'm using canned mackerel here, some onions, habanero peppers, and garlic, and some chopped up, green onions, some salt, black pepper, parsley. So I took the mackerel out of the can. You can use it in tomato sauce or the one that's not in tomato sauce, but I'm just going to wipe all of the skin off of the mackerel because that leaves a fishy flavor, and you don't want that to be left inside of there. So I'm just running the water, not on blast, just low. Have the water on low, and you can rub it off with the side of your hand and try to get the tomato sauce off too. So this recipe, you can also alternate and do the same thing with meat, with ground beef. So you see that I've taken off all of the skin, and now I'm just going to take the middle bone out, because everything else you don't really need to worry about. Yeah, just the middle bone. I'm going to do that to all of them. So sauteing some onions and habanero pepper, and this is the same way you would do it for meat pies. Only thing is, with meat pies, you would add some chopped up carrots, and maybe like some corn and peas and stuff to it. But that's about the only difference. Oh, some potatoes too. Yeah. But this, you want it nice and simple, just with some onions and garlic and pepper and chopped up green onions, and that just makes a really, really good flavored fish pie filling. So I'm just gonna break these down until they're like at a nice size. Yes. So I'm adding some jumbo, and I'm gonna add some salt and some black pepper to this. If you want it to be a little bit more juicy, I guess you could say, you could add more onions to this, and that would make it a little bit more juicy. And I'm adding some parsley. I only have dried parsley, but it would take the flavor to a whole nother level if you had fresh parsley. Not that flat leaf Italian parsley, the other kind of parsley, the curly leaf parsley. That parsley tastes really good and gives this an amazing flavor. I only had the powder one, so that's what I use. But it still came out really good. Like, that filling was amazing. So I'm using my cutter there. And this is what the miniature fish pies look like. And I'm just going to be frying them in regular canola oil or vegetable oil, whichever one you have. Peanut oil, sure they will all work. You want to stuff these like properly. You don't want to have a tiny little bit of filling where people just get one bite out of the meat pie and all of the filling is gone. You want to have a nice hefty bite of fish pie filling in there. Yeah, then we just seal it with water and then use the fork to make the nice crimped edges. And then, yeah, I'm just going to be doing that to all of these. And once that plate is like almost full, then I'm going to start frying them. So I'm frying them in some oil here. Unfortunately, I didn't really get too many good pictures of these at the end. I just got the video of me frying them and taking them out. But they were really good, and they finished really quickly at the party. And you don't want to fry them for too long because they'll dry out. But just look at these. They're nice and golden brown and crispy and buttery and flaky. They're amazing. And thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you share, like, and comment and all that good stuff.